What can your brain just not comprehend? I can't comprehend why any company would think I'm more likely to buy their product if they make their commercial 20 decibels louder than all other commercials. Instant boycott. The sheer size and scale of the universe. Like the fact that you can fit all the planets of the solar system between the Earth and the Moon. Now realize how far apart all the planets are in the solar system. This is practically next door compared to the distance between our Sun and the nearest star. There are billions of stars in our Milky Way, with the majority having planets of their own. The sheer scale of the vast emptiness involved means that even when our galaxy merges with the Andromeda Galaxy in 4.5 billion years' time, there will be very, very few actual collisions between stars. Then there is the void between galaxies, and that it takes billions of years for light, at its speed, massless, and the fastest speed possible, to travel between galaxies, speaks of the sheer emptiness and distance in that void. I can't quite fathom it. How someone can kill in the name of their God. How someone can abuse their children. Why I'm still on Reddit lol. How pi doesn't repeat. It blows my mind that computers can calculate millions, billions, trillions of digits, but it hasn't found a pattern yet. Nothing. Like say there is no God or heaven or afterlife or whatever. And when you die it's just nothing. Not an empty room, not blackness, just nothing. I really can't wrap my head around it. That space is flat. I've seen all the explanations. I've had an astrophysicist explain it to me. I just can't get there in my head. Blockchain technology, Bitcoin and more recently NFTs. I don't want to, either. The Kardashians, and why the fuck they are famous. Why people vote for politicians who have a party affiliation without ever reading anything about them or their policies or political history and only pick them because of their party. What was there before the universe? What was there before that? And you get the idea. Why do people rape each other? What's the point? If God is the first thing to exist, then how did God came to be? There is no more water on Earth. Water is not created. It just gets moved around on this floating ball in space we call Earth. All the water in the world that has been drunk, processed and excreted as piss from every human and animal ever to have existed on Earth has eventually ended up in the sea, gets recycled and the process starts again. A glass of water could theoretically contain particles that originated as piss from dinosaurs and Roman soldiers or Egyptian gods and slaves. Maths that revolves around spheres. Just why? I've been around people who were so dumb that I honestly started believing some people are just mindless bodies without an actual conscious mind or soul. I'm not being sarcastic. I actually came to that conclusion. I literally don't understand how some people manage to do basic life things like feed or bathe themselves or operate vehicles given the extent of the difficulty they have doing or understanding other basic things. I'll give you an example of a conversation I once had with my mother. Her. Aren't you going to class today? Me. I have class on Wednesday and Thursday, not Monday. Her. I know. Why aren't you going to class today? Me. What day is today? Her. Today is Monday. Me. Waiting for it to click in her mind. Her. With a look of total confusion on her face. So why aren't you going to class today? That was basically the extent of the intellectual involvement in every conversation I ever had with her. It really seemed like she was not capable of conscious thought. She was like that my entire life, and he used to be a nurse, which is part of the reason hospitals terrify me. I do IT work, and just recently an employee brought a monitor cable in because she said it didn't work. There was some back and forth confusion for a while until I realized the entire problem was that she was so dumb she just literally didn't plug it into the monitor. As soon as I explained to her that she had to do that, she suddenly understood and left. I've had another employee call for help because his computer wouldn't turn on. I had to tell him to press the power button, which immediately turned the computer on. He got the computer but never pressed the power button because he didn't know what it was, and instead just assumed the computer didn't work because it wasn't magically on. My whole life is full of experiences with people like this, and I just don't understand how it is that many of them can be functional without being cared for. How to tie my shoes the right way. People opinions that seem to not be based on any self-thoughts or rationalization and rather on repeating what others say in some sort of group behavior. Like one internet phenomenon I've seen lately is how people look at other people, not as who they are but as what their opinions about who they are as, so they will twist any action to fit that worldview. Seems bizarre to me. Bitcoin, electricity, people who hit their kids. How someone can claim to follow a kind, compassionate, and loving God but be so full of hate and violence. And that they don't realize the sad irony. My little brain can't comprehend the vast emptiness of space and the fact it supposedly just stretches on forever and never has an end. Kind of wild when you try imagine it. Ironically enough, itself, there's a lot of reasons for this. We can understand how the brain works from an electrochemical level, and we can describe regions of the brain, the physical and mental processes that they relate to, and how it develops and changes over time. But, so far, we're nowhere close to being able to duplicate it in any real way. How do we form memories? What is our brain doing when it sleeps? How is it possible to put the raw computational power of the mind into a 1.4 kilograms organ that has the consistency of semi-solidified jello? We think of microprocessors and supercomputers as fast, but just consider everything going on in your brain when you drive a car. Now Google automaticity. What I love the most about this incredibly weird thing in our skulls is that it lies to us all the time. Our visual cortex can be easily tricked. Our memories can be easily manipulated or even fabricated. Heuristics and biases distort and alter reality so often that we develop things like the Mandela effect. Something as simple as saccadic masking is kinda creepy if you think about it. Your brain distorts time and selectively ignores the blur of eye movement from one point of fixation to another. Existing in society and being okay living a template that everyone is supposed to follow. Like fuck man, I have to depend on a lot of things to be alive and that fucking sucks. Good idea, let's baby teens until they're 17 and when they turn 18 let's fucking yeet them cause fuck that's how it's been for decades. Not even a speck of knowledge to help them and when they develop some kind of issues let's tell them to swallow a spoon of cement and toughen up. And then, let's leave them to wonder WTF to do with their life and if they can't decide let's pressure them by them to choose a career to pursue and tell them that they'll be tied to it for a long time so better make a good decision. And then tell them to accept that the world is cruel and just be jaded and numb like the rest of them. That free will is an illusion. That if the universe is infinite, there is a possibility that this isn't the first universe that has been created here. And if it's not the first then there have been infinite universes before and infinite universes equals infinite probabilities in all universes, meaning everything that can possibly happen will happen. Quantum entanglement. How any adult can look at a child sexually and act on it. It's something I will never understand. Language. The facts that we all collectively decided separately and divertingly that certain sounds have meanings and that other sound mixed with those can change the meaning. COVID deniers. Black holes. Quantum physics. Time travel. I've never understood how that works even in movies. I've got two. Dark energy, and its existence in every single inch of the universe. Also the idea of an eternal life is really difficult to understand, and almost seems cruel at some point. Dates. I am considered a historian by my family due to my knowledge on most world history, but god dang dates. I could be talking about World War II and say it happened the same date as World War I. If the fourth dimension existed, we wouldn't be able to see it. We'd be like two-dimensional to four-dimensional creatures. Crazy to think about. The Monty Hall problem. Normally with things I am told the explanation and something snaps into place and I get it. No more doubts. The explanation feels right. I feel like I understand the answer. But not with the Monty Hall problem. There I'm perpetually stuck intellectually knowing the explanation is right but feeling like, they must be wrong. How a simple calculator works. I can do math. I'm actually very good at it. How does a little plastic box do it though? Always boggled my mind. Four-dimensional figures. Special relativity and the speed of light for two observers moving at different speeds. A hypercube, or the fifth dimension. We live in the fourth dimension. Thus we perceive things in 3 dimensions: length, width, height, depth. However, something that lives in the 5th dimension would be able to perceive a 4th dimension. We just can't comprehend what that extra dimension is. In comparison, a 3rd dimension creature, which can only see 2 dimensions, can't comprehend what the 3rd dimension we see is. I'll explain it like this. There is a creature living in the 1st dimension. If you put a cube in front of it, assuming it can see, it would only see a dot because a dot, in this sense, has no dimensions. A 2nd dimensional creature would see a line, because a line has 1 dimension. A 3rd dimensional creature would see a square, and a 4th dimensional creature, like us, see a cube. But what would a 5th dimensional creature see? What is that other dimension? I've imagined it would be the inside of things. Like it could see inside a cube without it having an opening. If that's the case, then what would a 6th dimensional creature see? This also brings up these questions. Is there a 0th dimension? What would a creature see in it? If it is safe to assume that there is an infinite amount of dimensions, then that means negative dimensions exist. What would those creatures see? The unimaginable vastness of the universe. That all the other persons I talk to or see have their own thoughts, own inner dialogue, and own life. For gaming analogy, sometimes I just feel like others are NPC and I just can't comprehend that there are more than 7 billion person just like me. How so many people relatively recently are going down these conspiracy rabbit holes. I get that it's social media by and large, but I don't get why so many people are being fooled by this obvious bullshit. As an example, my dad is one of these people. His new thing is that Biden isn't even Biden. His proof is something about his ears being different. It's madness. How people can create false stories and rally others to believe it. How some people make themselves appear the victim when they are the aggressor. Why my wife never knows what the hell she wants to eat. A new language. The universe. How China and India each have more people than North America and Europe combined. The questions where the boat is going upstream and downstream in moving water. That stuff should be reserved for PhDs. Death. Obviously I understand why people die and all that, but just thinking what happens afterwards. What's it like for the said person that died? Is it just blackness? Is it like they're dreaming? Reincarnation? This probably sounds very stupid, but I don't care. Woman facepalming light skin tone, woman shrugging light skin tone. What came before the universe? Like what came before anything existed? Space, time, or matter? Division. I don't know why, but my brain could never comprehend it. I am not bad at math, but it's just division for some reason that really stumps me. Electromagnetic induction. Seems like free energy, but that breaks the laws of thermodynamics. IDK how it works. The fact that the universe is expanding into nothing. Consciousness. It's unlike anything else I am aware of. Although I'm an atheist and realist, it's pretty darn mystical. I can't explain it. How some people are rude, and when you're rude back they can't understand why. How a morally bankrupt reality TV star managed to get elected president of one of the most powerful nations on earth. Homophobes and transphobes, it literally doesn't affect you, so stay out of my business please. Time and relativity. Murder and substitution in algebra. Right and left, left and right. I don't know why and I feel so stupid, sad face. The fact that supposedly people can picture things in their head. When they close their eyes they can think about something and visualize it. Makes no sense to me at all. If I try to visualize something I can state facts about the thing I'm thinking about. The ball is blue and fluffy, but I don't see a blue fluffy ball. Apparently people could see that. It truly boggles my mind and I can't believe it. Fourth dimensional shapes. It kinda boggles my mind. What people, specifically women and girls, see in idolizing people like Kim Kardashian and her siblings. They are fake. They've been exposed as fake. Why? Death. We all know it will happen, but what does it feel like? Do we know what death is in our sleep? Are we even able, when we accept it is coming, are we able to accept what will happen after? Fractions. I have always been horrible at math and fractions just sealed the deal for me. I look like a lost child in Home Depot looking at the endless amount of screws, nails, and fittings that seem to come in a few thousand different sizes. Cryptocurrency. Seriously, WTF? Cryptocurrency. The fact that there are probably beings who exist in a universe with 4 dimensions. Like, I've tried so hard to understand it, but I just can't get how it could work. Or that I can die anytime and anywhere and how easily you hurt yourself badly. I guess just how long human civilization has truly been a thing blows my mind a bit. Like Stonehenge and the pyramids. Those things are old, and every time I think about how old they truly are and how old we are blows my mind. Wearing a mask to wait for a table in a restaurant, then removing it after sitting down. The anti-science movement in America right now. Light isn't affected by time. So, other things could just exist outside of time? Like, if you were a photon that traveled at light speed for 1,000,000 years and then hit an alien's third butt, you'd experience it as instantly being 1,000,000 light years away. How north and south does not mean top and bottom and that Earth does not have a top or bottom. I can't comprehend a sphere that does not have a top or bottom. The stupidity of anti-vaxxers. Hatred of other people for any reason other than that person or group of people actually harming you. Everything, to be honest. Does everything in this world exist or is everything in this world just an illusion from our minds? Thanks for watching. See you later.